Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another day of Trading Garage. Good to see everybody in this morning. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. And turn that off. Looking forward to another interesting day. Once again, we look at the timings of these crazy markets and where we can take advantage of stuff throughout the course of our day. Great to see everybody back in. And let's go through and kick around these charts and see what we can get out of them today. Cha-ching, Mr. Shots. Good morning, brother. Good to see you back in. All right. Well, I probably should have just held that last short that I put on yesterday on the crude. So I grabbed that last one at 11:30 just as we were getting out of the room, grabbed a $50 or $100 off of it, not a whole lot, and it never stopped. So that was actually the spot yesterday for the short. On the weekly, we can see that weekly pattern 5 is, it's still forming, and it's got today and tomorrow. So I'm definitely short-minded on this thing at this point. We're getting near the end of the bar time-wise. So again, time-wise, this bar is going to end out tomorrow. And so we're nearing the end. As we're nearing the end, this thing, I'm really short-minded here. So I'm going to keep that in mind significantly. If we get a pullback up in a 95, again today, I will be shorting that level just like yesterday. It just took yesterday all day to get there. And we're going to see if they test it again today. Currently, in order for us to be a doji candle, the open last week was 93.89. I think that, or the open on Monday. And I think that's probably going to be significant for this market. Actually, it's not. It's 90. Dadgummit. Let's just use this to tell us 93.91. So 93.91 is the open price today. So we want, or the open price this week. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a really small line on my chart. It's only going to encompass this one bar. But this one bar, it does encompass the weekly chart, so it should be on the chart for the entire week. We're going to apply this to all my charts. And again, I'm just looking to see how the market is reacting today around the open. In case we don't make it all the way back up to the 95 level, we're closer to this 90, whatever this is. We're closer to this price level, and I got a feeling we might get a bounce off of it. So I'm going to place that one on there just so that I keep out with where the open is, 93.91. And if we pull up into there, we'll look for a bounce back down. Down to the daily, so we're looking for shorts on the weekly. Well, the daily says, yeah, I don't know about that. The daily says we're still up for 2 more days. So it has until Monday. As of Monday, we do have full confluence then between the weekly and the daily. So as of Monday, we're going to be looking for this market to give a significant roll right back down again. So we're going to see how they play this thing out, but still on the buy side of the daily for 1 more day. Yesterday, we had the pattern 5. Isn't that interesting? So we had the pattern 5 on the daily cycle. Market closed the first bar below. No surprise there. That's what a pattern 5 does. We had the pullback. Once we closed below the range, though, that kind of changed things. Closing below here, and yesterday was obviously a big volatility day. Look how big the range was, from 89.90 all the way up to $95. That's a pretty significant $6. 89.90, yeah, almost a $6 day, 600 pips. That's a lot for one day. So pretty big volatility day. Today, a pullback up is not a surprise. And then again, as we pull back up, I'm looking to push right back down. Because we did close yesterday below, it did give us an indication that we expect to be lower by the end of the next week or by next Wednesday. So I'm still short-minded, short, long, short on the 3 highest time frame charts. Down to our 1 hour. All right, what's our 1 hour? Marked this one time-wise. There's the chart from yesterday. Tell you what, I've let this thing run all night, so give me just a second here, just to make sure. Yeah, I just wanted to rescale it because I did. Bing, 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 bing. There's the low, there's the current high. And as of 7 o'clock this morning, we did come into the sell signal from last night at 7 o'clock was over. And as of 7 o'clock this morning, we are now on the buy side again. So says we're going to be up for a while. Now, the interesting thing is, as of right now, our daily's putting in, or our weekly's putting in that pattern 5, and I just have missed this thing. The market came up, touched it, the very last bar of this move, 93.31, is officially a pattern 5. If I get any indication of this anywhere else, I'm going to go ahead and short it, but let's see where we're going to be. Right this minute, it's already made the move, so the risk would have to be like 40 cents. That's too much. If it pulls back up to here before the bar closes, I'm a seller. Yeah, 11 o'clock this morning, we will come into our next sell time. This is a pattern 5 right now, counter trend, counterintuitive on the 1 hour chart. Oh yeah, so the 1 hour, the trend says we should be up. The time warp 1 hour says, we've been up and we're going to roll back down for an hour or two and then we'll go up. That's what the 1 hour is telling us. Isn't that special? So the 1 hour on the 30 minute giving us a very similar pattern. This one actually has one more bar, and we can see that the 30 actually hit right there. That's not the entire range though. So I didn't remark this after we left the room yesterday, but that's the range right there. The bottom was still in place. The top had to be changed. So we're on to a buying zone. The market made a strong push down. Oh, look at that. 1, 2 candles closing below. Not part of a pattern 4, and it actually inverted the range. So it actually inverted yesterday right there at 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock last night. So by 5 o'clock p.m., this says we should be favoring the short. Let's pull it over to here. And it says that the short will be in play on the 30 until 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. So until tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, short, and then tomorrow at 2:30, short again. So short on the half hour chart, long on the hour, short on the half hour. Isn't that special? Both of them putting in a pattern 5 right this minute. And yeah, I'm only willing to chase it so far, but it certainly looks like we might get a strong pullback from here. And if I can get a little piece of it, great. So next signal up won't be until 9:30, and 9:30, that would be a 252. 9:30, we would look for the push to market right back down again. Down to the 15, see if the 15 helps or hurts or gives us anything else. Oh, isn't that special? 15, we are in the middle of a chop zone right now. So we have a chop zone area on the 15. And 9:30, the 15 minute is going to come into a buying zone. So right there off 9:30, we will have a buy trend is expected. That's the projection. So right now the projection on 15 matches the 60, does not match the 30. All the way down here until 2:15, same kind of deal. Tomorrow afternoon. So the 15 minute has it on the buy side till 2:15 tomorrow afternoon. Let's see what it's going to show us here. Yeah, as of right this moment, we do have a range expansion bar pushing us back up at a 93.28. We've already started a small pullback off of there. And as of 8:45, if we touch that price level again off of 8:45, then it's automatically a pattern 5. As of right now, it's not on the 15. But I'm going to leave my order sitting there for a few minutes. I got a feeling we may get a move. Look at the volatility here too, 50 cents per bar. That's a lot. This thing's cranking. Next signal up is at 9:30. 9:30, we're going to have a sell and a buy. So we have a buy on the trend, then a sell on the zone, on the time warp. If the market were to pull down and hit the very bottom of this thing at 91.30 by 9:30, if it did that thing at 9:30, then yeah, then we would be looking for a little bounce down or a push right back up again. So let's see what's going to happen on that one. On to our 3 minute checking and 3 minute toe. Quick look at my 60. This one has 38 minutes to close this bar. So I guess it could push further. Same here. This one's got 8 minutes to close out the bar. So technically we could go another half hour up on this little move, but let's see what happens here in the next minute. Back down to our 3. All right, let's grab a box from yesterday. Grab this one in, didn't use it. It was there, but it was after we left. And let's pull this one in. All right. So let's see where we're going to be today. We're exiting the chop zone right now. So literally as of right now, we are exiting this thing. The projection, let's go ahead and rescale this one. Lower time frames, you got to rescale it more. He's almost done working on this thing. That first cup of coffee is out of the way and working good. All right. And there's our projection. So we're coming into a buy time this morning. Now, why did you quit? It was working a second ago, showing the chop zone, and now it's not. Come on, pig. It's the craziest thing. Sometimes this thing just gets a little wonky. Drives me bananas. I can see it plain as day. Nothing's changed on the chart, so this thing. All right. So we're in the edge of the chop zone area. We are coming out of the chop zone. The expectation is from here. There's our high. There's the current high. And the current low is way down here. Not forever, but it's a long way down. 91.69. Geez Louise, for a 3-minute chart, that's a lot. That's a really substantial move on a 3-minute chart. So these guys are battling hard. Remember, pattern 5s are stop runs. And oftentimes when we see a pattern 5 on any time frame, doesn't matter what the time frame is, when you see a pattern 5, those are typically stop runs. That's where the market accelerates one way, sucks everybody in, and then suddenly goes back the other way now that they've got enough contracts absorbed. So that's what a pattern 5 really is. I did the CB thing. Thank you very much. Control C, V. All right. So 9:09 this morning, we are going to come into a buy time, which is expected to last us until 11:57. That's going to pretty much encompass our morning. So that's kind of the trend expectations for the morning right there. So we're going to see how these things continue to play their way out. And then into the afternoon, what do we got? The afternoon looks like down. So after high noon today, the crude is telling us that we are going to go down. So crude says down today after 12, 11:57 technically, and after 12 o'clock, downtown for a while. I don't know what the range is going to be. We'll have to redraw it when we get there. But right now, the projection is downtown for quite some time. Oh, until 1:30 tomorrow morning. That's a long time. Interesting. All right. So let us see where we're going to be coming into here. All right. All right, looking for the short. I have a sell limit order sitting up here near the top. We've entered a buying power zone. We've entered it at the extreme high or very close to the extreme high. And as we're coming into 8:30 this morning, again, the 3-minute is going to stay down. My 15-minute is it's right at a pattern 5. It's not quite, but if it comes back up and fills me here, it will be. So if it fills me there, that'll be a pattern 5. It is a pattern 5 already on the 30-minute chart and the 60. So the 30 and the 60 are both sitting on pattern 5 pullback areas. This is an overbought market on the 60 and over on the 30. Everything on the higher time frames is indicating we should get the move down. It's just a matter of what kind of fill can we get. Now we are going to get on our 3-minute chart. We're going to get a signal here for the 830. We're going to get at 836. If 836 is a brand new high, then that one's automatically inside of our window on the 2 higher time frames, and then we would have 848 as well. So both of the next 3 signals up are all encompassed inside of the higher time frame pattern 5. So we'll see if we can get a little shorting action here. Counter trend to the 3. So the 3, because we are at the extreme high of the range, I expect we may pop here and then run right back down, but we'll see what it actually ends up giving us. I've got an order just sitting, watching for a potential retest of the swing high here. And if we retest this swing high, again, looking for a low risk short, but I want to see the market pull up into it and then slap it and go right back down. So we'll see how we go there. I definitely am short-minded today, but I'm also keenly aware that this market could pull all the way back up into $95 again. That's not a surprise. The yellow dashed line that you see here, that's the yesterday or the Monday's open. So that's the weekly open. And I am expecting at this point that also would give resistance in the market. Volatility is very high right this moment over on this market as we're sitting at 23 pips per bar on a 3-minute scale. That means this market is cranking. It's nothing right now for this thing to move 75 cents an hour. That's a lot. So this thing easily a very, very volatile market. Please, if you're on a smaller account, either use the micros or stay out. Today is one of those days that this thing just kind of all over the place. All right, so let's see what we get. Let's jump over to, I'll come back and check on that one periodically. Let's come back and see what we've got here on the Russell. Looking at the Russell on our daily. Well, yesterday, the market gave us a pull up. We finally did get a candle close again above the open price line. Yesterday did it, or the day before rather. Yesterday closing out a doji, showing us indecision in the market. We did not hit our pink level again, so a pullback down into tomorrow is expected. So Russell is looking to be short today over on the dailies for one more day. Once we come through tomorrow, we're going to be looking for the push up into the end of the month. So let's see what the market gives us through there up until the end of the month on the Russell. Yesterday, oh, we don't see that very often. Isn't that special? So yesterday closed a doji on our daily. So we have a daily doji, kind of rare. You don't see daily full-blown dojis very much. But yesterday has it over on the Russell here. So with the doji indicating indecision in the market and a directional change. So I'm looking for this thing to pull right back down. And it's not, it just really depends on today if we close above 2072 or below 2072 because it's a doji. So if we close below it, we're going to go down for the rest of the week. If we close above it, we're going to go up until next Wednesday. Got to wait till the end of the day, but it certainly does look like we're going to end up rolling right back down again. So I'm kind of looking short. All right, we have news out right now. Let me drop this back down for a second. Does not look like it. No, these guys are going to run down without me. Crap. I hate that. I was willing to sell the 60. If I'd have got there a minute or two sooner, I'd have sold that puppy. Well, all right. She's going down. We'll get another opportunity today. Let's see if it'll pull back up to us. Billy Fed, housing index, legal eye, all that stuff out to this morning. Yesterday morning, we established the swing high and the swing low for the 11 o'clock sell time. Big swingy range from the day before. Oof. On the Russell 1 hour. This is expected to be on the short side until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we are in a native short, and the Russell says we should expect and favor shorts until 8 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll see how that one's going to continue to work its way out. 9 o'clock this morning coming into a sell time. If this closes a up bar, then this would be definitely in agreement for this move down into 1 o'clock this afternoon. So we have a confluence between the time warp and the power zone right now. We're projecting short for the next day, and we are coming into a shorting time. The last time we had one of those was 3 a.m. The market moved down until 6. This one is 9 a.m. Let's see if we're going to move down until 1. So about 4 hours in this down move. Short, short, and short. Not the same as short shorts though, but it is short. Kind of. That's weird, but okay. 9:45 last night, we came into the buying zone and was short-lived, and that's special. So as we came in at 9:45, the market closed 3 bars below. They punched the bottom. It was a solid pattern 4. The pattern 4, the reversal coming in the very next bar. Off the next bar reversal, this one's sideways, no volume to push it back up, I guess. And it actually ended up, again, it inverted because it didn't get high enough soon enough. 2 things have to work together. And that zone is actually over right now. All right, so that last power zone is ending here. And now we have reset. So we inverted the last one, and then coming into the first thing this morning, there's our new high. This one's going to be to the downside. This is like a chop zone entry, and it's going to be to the downside until 9:30. I'm going to just see if I can reset this thing, if it'll come back in. It did. All right, that's good no for Dan. He's going to fix that for us. All right, so we're into the sell side. This is a native short area. There are no time warp signals until 9:30. As of 9:30, we are going to be looking for a little pullback up. That zoned over, so we can reuse it. 9:30, we're going to be looking for a pullback up into 11 o'clock. And then 11 o'clock, watch for the down move again until 4:15 this afternoon on the 15-minute. So kind of a mishmash morning. Not the worst thing in the world. Yesterday was considerably uglier, but on the 15, down until 9, 9 until 11, and 11 down the rest of the day. We'll see what we get off of here. Looks like we will get some confluence this morning between 9:30 and 9:45. Double dot buy. We'll see if we can move down into that time of day, and if we can move down into here, then we'll look for a pickup buy off the other side. At 8, and on to the 5 on our 5-minute here. Entry level chart. Let's grab a box from yesterday. There we go. Get all of our giblets back on the chart. Okay. Swing high right there. Swing low is actually here. Okay, so we entered a selling power zone just a few minutes ago at 8:15. So at 8:15 on the entry level chart, we came into the sell zone. We had been in the buy zone since 6:40. I'm just going to put it on here so I can get my head wrapped around where we're at. The buy zone at 6:40 was still there, and then there's a selling zone that came in right behind it at 8:15 off the other side. The other side here, 9:20 till 10:50. The high is still there, and the low is right there. So you can see how that one plays out. The one on the other side of that one looks like we're going to be buying action until 10:50, and then off the other side, 10:50. Look for the sell until 1 o'clock. Wow, a lot of back and forth today. Not a long duration zone anywhere in here. This is going to be a mess. This thing's only actually showing up for like 3 bars and then down the rest of the time. Ugh. So more selling. If I'm just looking across the end of the duration of the day today, looks like there's a lot more selling than there is buying projected for the Russell today on our entry level chart. So we're going to see where the market ends up taking us. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. All right, so let's see where we end up going. We're in the selling zone this minute. And coming into 840. Watch for the push down into 850. We'll see where that one ends up going. Ba-ching. All right, crude. Again, I missed a little short on crude earlier just before we got our analysis done. That's sad. 8:15 was the time and I missed it. So got another opportunities coming. Nothing to do at the moment. Over on the Russell 5-minute, 8:40, we would need to close a buying bar before I'd be willing to sell it. It has 3 minutes to go. If they pull this market back up into 8:40, then fine. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it go. Looking at the ES today, well, the ES, I said yesterday that this one's concerning me a little bit because it's struggling. And we did see a push up for the first 2 bars of this last zone. This one's going to be in play until April the 1st. From here, we've seen the first bar pullback. Now, if the bar we're on now doesn't get above that open price line by Monday, it's a good possibility we're going to pull down until April. So kind of on the precipice of this right this minute. We're going to see how it flows out, but this weekly is not looking very strong. In fact, it's looking very, very weak at the moment. The weekly. Huh, that's funny. Pattern 5 over on the daily, there's the pull down. The pattern 5 says that we have completed the move by going through the dot value 3 days ago. Sideways, the next signal up is in 228, and there we're going to be watching for the move down. So I don't have any signals between now and a week from now. So we got a week to play with this one or watch it out. Not much else to see. I'm thinking still short. So we're still going to be short here until we get closer to that next Monday signal. So short on the daily. Well, yesterday did not close above, so I got nothing. We have the controlling bar range. Yesterday closed an inside bar. That means we have to wait another day. This is going to be when you see a pattern like this, when I see a pattern like this, where we have a solid bar to form the beginning of the controlling bar range, and then the market doesn't close outside on the first bar, it usually is an indication that we will be doing this mess for the next couple of days. Okay, so I'm expecting a sideways market on the ES because we didn't close our first day outside. If we do close a bar outside of the range, then we'll mark it accordingly and we'll identify the trend at that point. But when we don't close the first day outside, normally the market will be sideways for a couple of days. So I think we're going to be in a sideways range on the S&P here. A lot of indecision on that one. 5 o'clock last night, we came into a selling power zone on the 1 hour. Ding, ding. 5 o'clock last night into 5 o'clock tonight. And in that selling zone, well, there's where it was. The market has obviously made the move down, back up, close to a pattern 4 at 3 a.m. this morning, but it did give us a nice sell opportunity and immediately drove right down. Now we're pulling back up off the buy. It's actually not doing too bad. Today we will have a 10 o'clock sell. If the market pulls up into the 10 o'clock sell, and if we hit that yellow line again, then I'll be a seller. And that's going to be our last signal of the day. So 10 o'clock this morning, we're going to look for the move down into 5 o'clock this afternoon. If we are putting in a brand new low, then that forms a pattern 4. So we want to keep a very keen eye as of 10 o'clock on 44.36. So let's not forget that one's down there. 44.36 will be a pattern 4 pullback. On our 15-minute, let's see what the 15 has to offer us today. The last zone we were in forever. Not forever, but for 2 days. Oops, let's pull that one back. A little too much information there. All right, let's pull this one in to here, and then we'll get the other one behind it there. We had this power zone from a day or two ago. All right. Okay, there we go. And we put in a pattern 4, didn't we? Sure enough. So the market put in a pattern 4 this morning at the beginning of the power zone. Typically, when you see a pattern 4 on a power zone entry, the market will go to the other side of the zone and then come back. Well, this one didn't make it to the other side of the zone. It got close, but it didn't make it. So, and it has come back down again. We're going to be in this selling zone until 4:15 today. So unless the market does something really crazy till 4:15 this afternoon, we're going to generally be favoring the shorts. So we came into the pattern 4 earlier, launched up, not all the way to retest to the top. Now we're right back down to the bottom. We will actually have a breakout trade below 44.37. Yeah, actually not even below there. Anything below that orange line comes from the weekly support and resistance, 44.40. Anything below 44.40, this market's going downtown. We pulled up nicely into 8 o'clock, and off the 8 o'clock sell, there's the move down the rest of the day. So yay. Looking over to our 5-minute, nice confluence between the 5-minute today and the 15. And the 5-minute had a nice short this morning right at 8 o'clock. And where's the low? Low, the low, right there. All right. And it was only going to be in play until 9:15, so it's almost over. The high was there. We had a little spike action up at the sell time at 8 o'clock. They pushed up, hit weekly resistance. Get the top of that bar. Right there's the top of the bar. All right. And where are we going today? So the market gave us a little push up action into here. And as we pushed up into the beginning of that zone right there, nice little sell zone back down into the cow zone. No, I'm just kidding. 9:15. From 9, and we haven't had any signals during there. Interesting. So from 9:15, we are going to come into a buying trend. The swing high right now is way up here at 10 o'clock, and this is going to be in place until 10:50. So this morning, just before the pit session open, looks like we're going to come into a buying opportunity. This may very well lend us to a dump and pump. We've seen a couple of those in the last couple of weeks where the market drives it down hard into the open and then they drive it back up, or they drive it hard up into the open and then drive it down. So we're going to see if that one falls out again today. 9:15, just before the pit session open comes around, and we'll look at a 9:05 buy. So these are 2 bars apart. We'll see if we get any kind of confluence here. Otherwise, I'm just looking for the shorts. Yay. Still in the shorting zone. This one has no look back to it, and I've got no other entry signals, unfortunately. We were not here in time to get the 8 o'clock sell, and it has not looked back. So off the 8 o'clock sell, double dot sell, little stop run action up in the daily resistance, and it has just dropped like a hammer. So yeah, not much else to see. Off of 10:50, 10:50 brings us into the sell time again. And from the 10:50 sell until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we have a major trend reversal today that's likely to take place. I didn't even go that far up. Major trend reversal is going to take place today at 11 o'clock, and that one's going to take us down into the rest of the day. So see what they give us. Drop it back down. I have no setups right this moment. So I say I have no setups. I may have one on the Russell. ES favoring short since we entered the zone. Russell entered the zone about the halfway point. It has pushed down. And you know what? The Russell, we'll see how this bar closes out. The Russell actually has a pattern 4, the lower low sell, followed by a pattern 1 here at the bottom. So the Russell has a counter trend, counterintuitive buying opportunity, and yeah, with a buy signal. If this one shows me anything usable, down to my 1 minute, trying to narrow my window a little bit. That's kind of it. If I get a buy here, then I'm going to put my sell like right underneath the bottom of it. Two ticks kind of thing. This is going to be like a 2 or 3 tick trade, so it's not going to have a whole lot. 848, See if I can get a fill here around the 848 mark. And this is a pattern 4 on the 5-minute chart. So there's a 5-minute pattern 4. And it has to, if I'm going to get the fill, I could be as far up here as I guess 58, 57, 60. Yeah. So if it pulls down anything below there, I'm just going to be out. So it's a little bit of risk in a trade, but it's not a horrible amount. If it goes below that low, I'm done. I'm not going to risk any more on it. I only have like a nickel at risk, or I got 1 point. So I'm risking 1 point here, and the market has to get back up, way back up by the end of this bar, or I'm out. So that's all I'm willing to give it. It gets no more from me, not for a counter trend in such a magnitude. So there's a very low risk area. If the market moves up, 2068 would be the target. So it is crazy low risk for what the opportunity is. But again, and it took it. So no dice. No dice. I was willing to give it one little shot. Looks like I'm taking out to the tick too. It's because the market hates me. All right. Well, we'll see where it goes. I'll let it sit there for a moment. We did have econs out this morning, and what was our econ out today? See what the econ was. Really? Some days. All right, and there's the Forex. Let's see where we're at. Got the big tentative. This was coming out sometime. I don't know why it's not out already, but sometime today. This morning there was our 8:30 econs for security purchases and Canadians. But for the U.S. market, Philly Fed, unemployment claims, building permits, and housing starts, all U.S. econs, ... Yay. So one better than expected, the other three worse than expected. I don't know that any of those are gigantic market movers, but the market is obviously reacting somewhat to them. Yeah, it's kind of all I got. Day one of the G20 meetings, that'll be interesting. Not much else to see. So, all right. So February the 17th, let's see what else we can find to play with today. If we find something really cool. All right, crude, we've pulled down and we are pulling back up once again. Let's see where we're at in the grand scheme of things. If the market hits the previous high, which is going to be 93.34, then crude is automatically a pattern 5 on the 15. The pattern 5 here over on the 30 is still grinding itself around. I was looking for that short entry earlier, and there's the P5 over on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour still is showing this level. This is the last bar of the 1 hour. So by 9 o'clock, yeah, which is 10 minutes. Got 9 o'clock here. If we got to push up in 851, yeah, I would sell that. So we're in a selling zone. We have an 851 buy right this moment. 9 o'clock is going to be a sell. The 9 o'clock sell is going to be in agreement with the 1 hour pattern 5. See if we can get a decent price. If we can get a decent price, I'm really still looking to sell this crude market, but I need to see a decent price. All right. Russell's going to get a little counter trend move. I was willing to give it a point. I should have waited for the bar to close down here, but it was a pattern 4, and I thought, yeah, okay, if we go much below there, it's going to be off anyway. And it went just enough to take out my tick stop, and there it went right back up. I should have waited till we got closer to the end of the bar on that move. So counter trend buy at this moment, very risky little area. See what it's going to do. ES, nothing to see. 905, we're going to come into the buy time, counter trend to the projection, and 915, we do have a projection back up again. So I'll probably wait until 915 to do anything. Why do you want to be hateful? Okay. So That's all I got for the moment. Let's enjoy some tunes. I'm gonna listen to some tunes anyway, and see what this crazy market gives us today. Okay. Earl, I just got your email about the gas pump humor. That's funny. That is actually quite hilarious. Oh, those are good. Those are good. Exactly. There's a huge element of truth in sarcasm sometimes. Sometimes sarcasm is the truth, probably more often than we're willing to admit as a society. Colin, good morning, brother. Good to see you back this morning. Good morning, Mr. Cole and Mr. Cole. It's good to see the Coles back with us. Tom, great to have you back with us this morning. Mr. Norris, welcome back. Mr. Sam, good to see you back in. Mitchell, hope you're doing amazing today. Mr. Challenger, welcome back. Good to see you back in. Franz, hope you're doing amazing today. Big Shots back in the house. There's the Earl. And there's the big Colin. So again, other folks joining us as we're moving through our day. I think you guys are all coming out early this morning, and we'll see what other cool stuff we can get out of these crazy markets today. I'm actually thinking about a breakout trade over on the Russell here, as the Russell pushed us into a buy time and a definite selling zone. I'm looking to see on the higher time frame if anything says don't do it, and oh, that one might. I can't get a whole lot off of it. That's a sell zone, but if we hit 55.2, all right, I'll have to lock in profit if we get there. That's the only one. So the 1 hour says if we get down to 55.2 on this bar, then it's going to be a pattern 4. Odds are pretty good if it hits there. It's going to punch right on through. The 15 doesn't care. It's good till 9:30. Our 5-minute chart, which is what I'm looking for the entry on, the 5-minute had a pattern 4 with a breakout or a breach. And if the pattern 4 gets popped, which it is now, then we should move on down into the next sell time, which would be 9:10. So I'm going to keep an eye on 55.4. If we hit 55.4 in the next couple of minutes, then I'm just going to lock in some profit down here. So I got a breakout trade. I took a little shot at the buy earlier, nothing doing. And there's a little breakout trade short. I'm going to get my money back. Oh, come on. Well, that was kind of fast. Come on, move on down. Looking for a pop of that red line. We pop the red line, I'm going to get all my cash back that I lost on the way back up. So, All right, I got my profit off over on the Russell. We got close to that pattern 4 level from the 1 hour. It may punch and run on down. We're also getting close to a pattern 4 here. So basically, I just got my loss back. I took the breakout off the other side, and whatever I lost, I got within. Well, it didn't get me all the way, so it got me within commission range. So sketchy little area because of that 60-minute pattern 4. So, all right, Earl's hanging on to his gold. Trying to type, we're headed to 2,000 on gold and then 2,500. Woohoo! That's good news there. What does silver? I haven't looked at a silver chart in probably 10 years. Anybody in here play or mess with silver? I'm just curious. What does silver sell for now? I got a bunch at the house. Maybe it's time I sell it. Hard stuff. Oh, I haven't looked at silver in forever. Okay. Wow, that's sad. Nobody wants silver. $23 an ounce for silver. That's probably per pound, isn't it? Instead of ounce. For gold, it's per ounce. That's funny. Yeah, per ounce. Okay. A little different than gold. It's what, one hundredth? Yeah. Man, silver, somebody got to come up with a need for silver where, it's worth something. All right, we are pulling up 4, 3, 2, 1 on the crude. Crap. This trade's going to outrun me. Dadgummit. It gapped down off the close of the bar. I was trying to get down here to it, and I was just late. Grrr. Man, this market's screaming. We're now up to almost 30 pips per bar. That's a pip every minute. That's 10 pips a minute. This thing's moving right now. It's cranking. Well, let's see if it'll pull back to that price again. If it'll pull back up and fill me here, again, you couldn't get the fill at the close unless you hit market because it gapped down 2 pips. It literally had a 2 pip gap down to get in. Just to open the bar was a 2 pip gap. That's how quick it moved. So I'm going to put my price right there. If it'll fill me, great. It puts the risk at about where I'd want it to, I guess, for this kind of volatility. See if it'll pull down and retest the low. So kind of crazy. I'm definitely on the short-minded side of crude today, but I'm not willing to be crazy with it. Come on. And I'm out. Crap. Man, this thing really screaming around here. Yeah, it's a byproduct, so you can get more of it. You can get it other ways versus just mining it. I'm going to give this crude trade one more shot if it'll come back. I didn't give it a whole lot of room, and if it'll give me another shot at it, I'll take it again with a little bit more room. With the volatility today, man, let's look at that sucker. She came right up, wicked right through me, and right back down again. Man. We have to manage it a little differently today. Crude open is open. Oh, I didn't realize we were sitting right on the open too. That probably didn't help my cause any. Russell's giving us a nice little pull up in a 910. If we can get a move up here higher into 910, then as of the close of the 910 bar, I may short this market again. We're still in the selling zone. Let's see where these bad boys are going to take it. We have a trend reversal and a time warp reversal at 909 over on the crude. I got stopped out of my last one. My risk was a little bit too tight. And now as we're pulling into 909, what am I going to do? And I'm kind of running out of time. There wasn't a whole lot of time here. I'm going to sit on the side for a minute, and I'm going to wait for the 909 bar close and see what I can pick up off of there. So the last trade should have worked out. Again, I had my risk a little bit too tight. Probably should have known at 30 pips per bar. Got to give it a little bit of room today. On a straight out pattern two or pattern one today, you've got to give it a little bit more room than I was giving it. Yeah, Colin says he's going to send me a clock so I can pay attention. That's exactly right. What I really need is more coffee, but I'm holding off a little bit. So. All right, coming into the trend reversal. This trend reversal is expected to push up for just a little while. Over on the crude, we're going to enter this buying time in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. All right. Well, I'm going to fill my coffee cup up. Take myself a breather for a second. 9:10's coming. 5 minutes. May get a short opportunity on the Russell. All right, fresh cup of coffee. Get my glasses back on, probably help. Got a little buying opportunity coming on the crude. This is counter trend to at least one higher time frame. We're coming in close to the target on that one from the pattern 5. So this is at least a limit order down or a limit order opportunity. Minute 30 seconds on the Russell. We may get a short there. Crude, we're entering a brand new zone. I'm gonna pull this out of the way because, yeah, that's the bottom of the previous one. And the new one is gonna have to be a little bit lower still. A double dot buy. I can have the opportunity here for, I'm considering this to be counter trend, mainly because my weekly and daily says short, but let's see if we're gonna get a little pullback here. It's gonna be a pattern 4. It is a pattern 4 at a pattern 1. So we have a buying trend that's expected to kick in for just a little while, starting right there. And by default, it's a pattern 4 because the very next signal is a sell signal. So we have a buy into a sell. See if it's going to give us a pullback up here. So not looking for a pullback forever, but let's see if we're going to get something off of this move. Yeah, this one will make me nervous. I'm not willing, because of all that weekly stuff, I ain't willing to give it a whole lot, and that might come back to bite me. Yep. I'm gonna get me a breakout short here in a minute. Oh, this thing. Pattern 4 with the direction of the projected trend. We're exiting the chop zone on the 15-minute and 4 minutes. $91.28, 91.28, 91 or 90.94. Fighting this pattern 5 is what we're doing. I tried to get short off pattern 5 earlier and just didn't get it. All right, ES, we're coming into a buy zone, pushing over. I have no other timing signals until 10:10. So the ES is kind of in a weird spot today. Nothing to do here till 10:10. We have pushed up 1, 2, 3 bars into this time frame, and this is going to act like a pattern 9, 3 consecutive higher high buying bars, which means at the close of the bar we might very well see a little push right back down again. Somebody getting excited. Look at that. I'm going to give this crude one last buying shot. Took off right off the open of the bar. Closing bar one below. It is part of a pattern 4. I'm going to give it a buying opportunity. If it'll fill me, I'm not going to chase it either. If it'll fill me, I'm going to buy it here and look for a push back up to get inside that power zone again, see if I get some cash back. Wow, the scale is unbelievable today. 36 points per bar now. Unbelievable. There's profit target for the pattern 4. If it's going to give a pullback, the volatility again is off the reservation for what we typically see on this market. So again, please be very careful here. 36 points per bar it's probably not a record, but dang if it ain't a lot. These guys are screaming. No follow through so far. I'm not going to take a loss on this trade. It's going to get something back. Got $90 off. That's all I got. And wow. No love and happiness either. $9:30 comes into a buy time. Move down there. It needs 27 to form a pattern 4, and the pattern 5 is still in effect until we hit 95. Blah, blah, blah. So she made the push back up. I grabbed a little something off of it. I'm nervous about it because I do have in mind that we're going to be short-minded today on most of, well, on the crude especially. The other ones I don't know, but the crude especially. But that's a lot of volatility suddenly in the market here. So hang 10 for a minute. Somebody getting excited. I think we're just seeing stop runs. All right, if crude is not closing this bar back inside that box, 92.01, it has 3 minutes to get back inside of 92.01. If it's not, I'm taking the breakout to the downside. In fact, at this point, if it pushes down below where we were, I'm going to sell it short into 930. For a few points anyway. I'm keeping in mind that if we hit 28 is a pattern 4 automatically with a range expansion bar. So if we get a push down into 28 from where we are now, yeah, 28 is a pattern 4 on 2 higher time frame charts. So from here, if we get a push lower down to 28, which is not far. I mean, scale wise, it's nothing. It's just right there. It's still $200 and some, but it's just scale wise, it's absolutely nothing. All right, I don't really have any time warp signals associated with my trend move on the S&P. We've pushed up into this time frame, and we're now within 2 bars of the open, so I'm probably not going to do anything with it. I'm going to leave it alone here. Crude, I'm pretty much expecting a breakout trade short. We had a single bar pullback. It was not very much, and pushing down below here. We'll see if I can get a move back down into 28, which is basically that orange line. Market pushes down and hits there. I'm going to lock in my profit, as that's going to be a pattern 4 on 2 higher prime frame charts. We may punch it, which would be kind of cool. There's the punch, and I'm out. So I had a plan. It may punch and go, but again, I wasn't willing to risk it anymore. I got $200 off that little breakout short. Remember, volatility right this minute is insanity. 36 points now per bar. That means the market's moving at 10 pips a minute, which is a lot. So if you're not familiar with crude, 10 pips a minute is getting it done. Normally, this time of day, where right now we're seeing it's 39 pips per bar, normally this time of day, this would be at about 13 pips per bar. So we would typically be around 13, and today we're at 40. So this is a pattern 4 now on 2 higher time frame charts. Likely to see a pull right back up again. We'll see what it's going to do. There's the pattern 4 on the 30-minute. This is almost a completion of the pattern 5 that we had from 8 o'clock this morning, or the 9 o'clock. I tried to get in this at 8, and I couldn't get the fill. It just never came back. But we're now into pattern 4, which means the market is likely to give us a snap back starting at 9:30. So for that reason, that was the reason I went ahead and got out where I could. Not a horrible exit. Again, that orange line giving me a really strong indication that if we hit there, a pullback up is likely. On our lowest time frame chart that we're watching, not the lowest, but on the lower time frame chart, this was a buy trend that has now inverted into a sell trend. So we gave it 3 bars. And with that 3rd bar closing now below the bottom, with that 3rd bar closing below the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I should have moved that one down a little bit. I missed it. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. At the close of the bar, it changed actually. So this is our new zone. And as of the close of that zone, it does give us an indication that we will generally be looking for shorts now the remainder of our morning until 11:57. So till 11:57, we're going to be favoring the short here. Yay. Russell and ES both picking up some really strange volatility here 15 minutes before the open. They're putting in a dump and pump. Fair enough. Look at these bad boys go. Coming into the buy zone, I don't have anything right at the open. So we're gonna let them wash themselves out here in the first couple of minutes of the open. But we're now entering a buying power zone. The low of the power zone is 2056. The high is, oh my gosh, way up there. It's unbelievable how big it is. Same for the ES. We've entered the new zone. The market pushed up. This is pattern 9. But again, I don't usually enter on the power zone signals unless it's an extreme high or low, and this one is neither. So I have nothing to do here. Doesn't fit my rules either way. And crude again. Now we are within 10 minutes of the open. So typically, we always, if you're new to my room, we will always watch the average true ranges of the market because they give us an idea what kind of volatility we have, and based on our history with them, we can actually get an idea what kind of volatility to expect. So the average volatility on the market right now is coming in at 5.7, which means by about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, we're probably going to see about an 11-point volatile day. So I think the volatility is going to be around 11 points today, up and down. So it's going to be a fairly volatile day. Not stupid, but pretty moving, pretty cranking. We'll see what we get there. So watch for volatility around 11 points per bar. Russell is going to be around 4. All right, we have New York Open in 8 minutes. Hang 10, 8 minutes. I have nothing to do on the chart at the moment. Crude favoring shorts.
Yes, I'm gone, Caroline, in my mind. Guarantees until the sun gets from her away, watching shine. Her watch still the tears refuse now. I'm crying, ain't I? On Caroline, in my mind. Ain't no doubt, no one's mind, but I stay around. Whisper something soft night. Hey, baby, stars on fire. I'm dying, they got me on Carolina. In my mind, I'm on Carolina. And see the sunshine, and you just feel the moonshine. Angels like treasure, keeping from my mind. 'Cause I'm gone, Carolina, in my mind. Dark inside, late last night, it's the light I've heard the highway call. Easy twice, all right. Signs that might be going, think I'm going, on Carolina. All the most of love standing around me. Still I'm on the dark side of it. Seems like it goes on like this forever. But forgive me if I'm nothing gone, Carolina, in my mind.
Hey, George. Good morning.
In my mind.
For those of you guys who are with me sometimes, I think this is hilarious. Earl sent me this morning. This is one of the clips. I just thought it was great. This is just, for me, that's absolutely hilarious. That just gives you an idea of how gas prices are currently going to be affecting our world. Funny right there. So if it's not funny to you, it's okay. It is funny to me. I thought that was great. Earl, thank you for sharing. That was probably my favorite out of the whole bunch. I know it's kind of sick, but you know, it kind of is what it is. That's exactly right. Your boy. He's your boy. George, good morning. It's good to see you. The volatility that I'm looking at today, typically what I expect to see based on our experience watching, this is one of these kind of things you kind of learn it over. You don't learn it over the first 2 or 3 days. You learn it over the course of about maybe 5 or 6 years. Is look at the ES 5-minute chart and the very bottom indicator. I hardly ever look at this thing. I only use it for an early morning reference. Occasionally I'll look at it during the course of a day, but it's not something that you really focus on. But you see the very bottom indicator that I've got here, it says 5.39. That's an ATR indicator. So that's an average true range. And one thing I've learned over the last several years is if you look at the average true range right before the market opens on the ES 5-minute chart. So if we look at it right before the open, that number will double typically. So whatever that number is, it will double in the morning volatility. Does that make sense? So right now we're seeing, I'm gonna round it to 5. So right now we're seeing volatility in the 5-point per bar range, which tells me that as we get into the market, the open volatility, we're probably going to see about 10 points per bar. So that's what that's that number, and that's where I come up with that number. And again, that's not something written in a book somewhere. That's something based on watching this thing over a several year period. So watching it here in the program every day for several years, that's kind of where it falls. So it may be a little more, maybe a little less, but generally speaking, this is going to be a really volatile day. This market's going to be screaming today. Now, the good thing about that information is if you're on a smaller account, and if you typically trade the standard ES, if you see the volatility in this range, this gives you a heads up that, today might be a good day to go to micros. Again, if you're on a bigger account, it doesn't matter because you can do what you want to do anyway. You got bigger accounts than most people if that's what you got. But again, if you're on a smaller account, this is a pretty good indication of what kind of craziness we're going to see in the market. So today would be a day you definitely want to be on the micros for most things. Mr. Challenger, hey Michael, good to see you this morning. Hope you're doing amaze balls today. All right, crude, it's lost its mind. Not a surprise. I'm really expecting crude to make a strong move down. I tried to get the shorts earlier. I took a couple of counter trend things, just thinking we might get small pullbacks. Saw profit in all of them, not enough. This is the reason that we're going to make such a volatile move on crude. Again, it is a pattern 5 on a weekly chart. So far from the open of the week, we've moved down quite considerably. Earlier this morning, we were sitting around the 82 level, and now we're considerably down from that. There was the pattern 5 as we opened up today, 93.30, and the market's already moved down almost 300 pips from that. So target off that pattern 5 from the 1 hour. Tried to get in there earlier, couldn't do it, and target from that is 90.92. So if you did manage to get into there earlier today, you're reaching your profit target here at 92 for that counter trend, counterintuitive move. And we'll see how the rest of the markets react when we get down into there. Also a pattern 5 on the 30-minute. This one was with the direction of the trend. That target's been attained and now pushing into lower lows. The 15, getting a little crazy. 15-minute is now a pattern 4. It's a pattern 4 and a pattern 1. Off the bottom with the targets being attained from the pattern 5. So there actually might be some pullback action here. We'll watch and see what it does. The 15-minute is now saying long. So the 15 and the 60 are both long. The 30 and the 3 are both short. So we do not have real clean confluence today between time frames. They're kind of all over the place. And even out to the dailies. We have a weekly that says short. We have a daily that says long. We got another daily that says short. So 2 shorts and a long on the daily. So crude, big volatility is expected, and there's not a great deal of confluence anywhere across the board on this thing. Ugh. But I still think that weekly chart is not to be trifled with. So if we can get a strong pullback up, I would love to see a pullback up into a short. Otherwise, it might just be breakouts and stuff today. So we'll see. Counter trend buy. The market's coming in at the bottom. Spinning top candle. Watch for the push up. We are getting a decent little move. Normally, this would be like a 7 or 8 point move. Today, it's a 78 point move. Just because the candles and the volatility is so big. 939 is our next opportunity. If we can get a move up from here into 939, I'm going to look for 939 for a move back down into 950. So that's what I'm expecting to see. And I would like to see the market pull me back into somewhere right along in here. So if that's the case, then, well, we'll see where we go. ES, we pushed up into, we had a little early morning pump and dump. I don't have any timing signals on the market until 10 o'clock, so 10:10. So nothing on the ES this morning early. Yeah, I got nothing early. We'll see where it goes. Russell pulling down into 940. We may get a buying opportunity at 940. Since we closed the power zone open price line, we've closed a bar above, a bar below, and this has now become a point of contention at 2059. So got to wait for a minute, see what these bad boys do here in the next couple of minutes. Volatility is already climbing. We're up to 6 points per bar over on the ES there. So hanging around the 6 mark at the moment. I'm expecting us to go to around 10 to 11 today. All right, ES or Russell punching the low. With Russell has now fully retested the overnight low. And on our 15-minute chart, this is now a pattern 4. I need to move that zone because that zone is actually there. So we're testing the bottom of the zone. The 15-minute is looking for buys until 11 o'clock. The close of this bar, 9:45, 11 minutes. We're going to get a buying opportunity there. And let's see if we push up from there for 1 bar into 10. It's also a pattern 4 down here on the 1 hour, counter trend, counterintuitive. We've actually pulled down into this price time, and this is a brand new low within 1 bar of the sell time. So looking for a push right back up. We did not move up into the sell. So because this is a pattern 4 here, we will it became a pattern 4. Because it is a pattern 4, market will, or is expected to get a move back up into 1 o'clock. This bar still hasn't closed. Got 25 more minutes. So let's see where it closes out and what it's going to do. Come on, Crude. So Crude making a pretty strong pullback. Remember, this was the buy time. We finally came into the buy time on the 15. What do I have? 15-minute is just buying until 10:45. So I don't have any. It's a pattern 4 and a pattern 1 together. Nice extreme move at 9:30. 9:30, again, most volatile time of the day. It's also a pattern 4 on our 30-minute, so no surprise that we're getting this pullback. And it was the profit target on the 60. So the time and space, looks like we actually missed the projection by 10 cents, 10 pips. 10 pips after being in 300 is not really much. So if we push up, I'm looking for a short opportunity at 9:39. We're getting close to my entry, and I want to see a retest of this open price line coming in at 9:39 today. Again, today, not unusual to see some really crazy volatility. Let's see what the 9:39 bar holds. Looks like that's going to be my next opportunity to do something is at 9:39. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. We're coming into the buy time now on the Russell. Not much to do at the moment, just watch. Tell you what, if we get a selling bar here, we're on the 940 bar on the 5-minute. If we can get a selling bar, I'm going to narrow that window down a little bit time-wise. 937 is a buy signal that's in agreement with the 5-minute buy signal. And if these two line up 22 seconds from now, again, if this thing comes in the next 22 seconds, I may get a little buy opportunity there. A little lower risk because I'm entering at mid-bar. So, but it needs to be a selling bar, and looks like it's going to be a buying bar. We'll see what happens. 4 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Maybe. Come on. Don't run away. Give me the fill. All right, I'm going to wait here for a second. Well, it gave me the fill. And with that buying opportunity, let's see if we're going to get a little move up for a few minutes. The whole premise here is it is a buying time on the 5 minute, and the 1 minute is helping me narrow down that window to enter based on the 5. The direction's the same. Again, just kind of narrowing it down a little bit over on the 5. Let's see if we get a push up. I want to see this bar close above 57. That's where I really want to see. Well, it closed above, barely, but it is above. Let's see if we'll push on up into 943. Crude, we're going to have a short opportunity in 50 seconds. Man, this market is whipping today. She is whipping. Seven seconds. I've got Crude's going to close us a doji. Going to put my risk above it. See if we can get a push down from here. Come on, Russell. Russell sideways. It is not going anywhere. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You need to get some movement done, son. All right, we're up finally 1.5 points. There's 2 points in the move. Being up 2 points, maybe I can finally lock in a little profit here. Man, it's not going. It's having a hard time. All right, finally getting a little love off the Russell. Three points up. I'm going to get 2. So up 3 points. I'm going to take 2 points off. Crude pushing up against my position a little bit. I expect we're going to bounce here off the open price line a little higher. So let's see where it's going to go. Finally getting some love off the Russell. Haven't had any Russell love in a while. Where's my next shot on Crude? Not till 9:54. And this thing, it could go. It could go. All right, we're back up at open price line resistance. Giving it a little bit of room here and there. Again, this market very well swing hard here and there. All right, there's my little Russell move. Russell's on the buy side, up 6 points, and I'm starting to run out of time. I've got 1 bar to go. I got a better entry because I got it over on the 1 minute. So I used the 1 minute to kind of narrow down my field of view some. If we're going to finally move on up here. I'm not going to lose anything on the trade. I am taking some open position profit. I've got 2 points locked in. I'm up 6. I'm going to go to the open price line, the power zone here. And if it'll push on up from here, that'd be wonderful. Otherwise, it can give me $150 for my trouble, which is 60. 61 actually. All right, so Crude pattern 1 at the bottom, pushing up. We're now into the sell time. Let's see what I got over here. The target for, well, I'm out on the Russell. The target for my pattern 4 is going to be 92.37. So the 15 minute has gone straight up into its profit target. The target over on the counter trend move on the 30 minute is way up there. Target was attained over on the 60. Counter trend there, 11 o'clock. The 60 says we should roll back over. So at the target level, I think I'm going to sell crude one more time. Might sell it again, but we'll see. Scale wise, it's just crazy today how much this market's moving. This market's insanity today. I am very confident in my shorts today. Yeah, exactly, Colin.
Will you stand with those who say that it will be done? One hand on the Bible, one hand on the gun. One hand on the Bible, one hand on the gun.
All right, well, that's the profit target for the 15-minute. So we pushed up, we whacked the 15-minute profit target, which is also the average price. So again, crude, big volatility here. No surprise, we knew it was coming. So today is going to be one of those days. The 15 is on the buy side with a pattern 4. Our 30 is on the sell side with a pattern 4, so it's counter trend on the 30. And the 60 is a buy. This was a counter trend short off of 8 o'clock this morning. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. My average price is now the open price line on the 60. Based on my dailies, I'm still looking. That daily is short. This daily's been buying forever. And my weekly, earlier this morning, we marked the weekly open price line there. And again, the weekly is a pattern 5. Market has been pushing these lows hard as it can go. So see if we're going to continue that stuff today. Kind of a crazy volatile move. If we push on up, we are in a selling zone. 954 would be the next opportunity for me to do anything on this one. Wow, look at that sucker go. And at 954, if we get a pattern 5, yeah, if we get a pattern 5, I will sell it again. If we touch the top of the selling power zone, that would be a pattern 5, and I will sell it again if we get up to there. So taking a bunch of heat off of this thing quickly this morning. Wow. ES still nothing to do. 1010, nothing to do till 1010. That's my first signal out of the gate. Over on the Russell, I grabbed the long earlier. The market closed its first bar below the open price line, and now we're into the sell side at 950. So I don't have anything to do here at the moment, just waiting it out. Yeah, the 15-minute is also to the long side. The 60-minute is short with a pattern 4 off that baseline down there at 55, or not baseline, that's the swing low. So the swing low tapping on the Russell there as well. I don't have anything to do for the moment. Just waiting, see what else we get. ES, we tested the swing low, or tested the bottom of the power zone. My profit target number one over on the crude is the open price line from the last sell signal. So again, oftentimes when the market pushes through a signal, it will come back to the open price line of that signal. And my second profit target is the open price line from the buy signal at the bottom, which has also not been retested. So currently that's where I'm going to look for the market return to here. And then once that one's attained, we'll lock in some profit on the last half and see if we move on down to the bottom. Maybe even more. We'll see. In the meantime, taking a bunch of heat off of this one. Not the worst heat I've ever taken, but it's a lot. All right, pattern 4. We are a lower low price at a selling time now over on the NASDAQ. I'm not the NASDAQ, the Russell. So we've got wick, 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 wick. This is going to be a counterintuitive trend buy opportunity. So at the close of this bar, which is in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, we may actually get an opportunity to buy this market. Interesting. So hard move down. We have not closed any bars below the bottom of the power zone. So this is in a very low risk buying area on the chart. Let's look to our 1 minute, see if our 1 minute helps narrow the focus a little bit. The 1 minute says we just put in a pattern 4. We won't get another one for a while. And 1 minute says right there, 9:54. So 1 minute and 4 minute in full agreement for a moment. We did this earlier and it worked out really well. Let's see if this is going to be the little move to push us back up. The risk is going to have to be just below 53. I've got to hold this risk for a moment until this 5 minute bar closes. And wow, what a punch. Nice. That's nice. So going to close the bar out. If I'm down more than 2 or 3 points, maybe I'll buy it again at the close of the bar, get the average and get out. See what else I got here. So 15 minute pattern 4. Also, this one's going to close out at 11 o'clock or at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, this one's going to close out and then watch for that hard run right back up. And it is still a pattern 4 on the 1 hour. So everything is still saying that between now and 10 o'clock, this market should give a strong pullback. Let's see if we're able to take any advantage of that. 30 seconds to close the bar out. I got the 1 minute entry, which hopefully is going to benefit me. Profit target for this thing would be up here. All right, we have a pattern 4 on the Russell. Took about 3 points of risk on it. And let's see if it'll start to push back up here. Crude coming down into toward target 1. I'm looking for a retest of that open price line there for T1 off the scale in. But we're close. Man, this volatility is insane today. Insanity. Insanity. All right, Russell, we're up 3 points on the move. Kind of a slow run. Normally the pattern 4 really takes off and launches, and so far this one's not. It's kind of making me a little nervous. If it doesn't get back inside that green box pretty quickly, not overly happy with that. It should get back up inside that green box, and it's finding resistance there. I'm not liking the move. I grabbed $50 off of it, and I may get another entry on the same move here with a little bit lower risk to it, something closer to the bottom maybe. But it should, a pattern 4 is a quick move. So pattern 4s are usually fast. They don't usually just doidle around when they work. So this one's making me a little on the nervous side. It should have just gone, and it didn't. It stalled. So I'm going to wait here for just another minute. If this bar also puts in a new low, I'll look back to my 1 minute again and see what else we can get. Target 1 is off over on the crude, locking in the same amount of profit on number 2. So I'm not going to take any loss on crude. So right there's number 2, and I'm looking for crude to push down and retest the open price line there at the bottom. See if it'll get it. But I'm taking the same amount of profit, either position, and that's going to get me. Again, I would have considered the first one to be a loss. The second one is definitely making up for it, and then some. So between the 2 trades, I'm making money. Ah, shoot. Well, and that's all I'm gonna get. So only got $500 off that last little move. So not really a great run there. Bummer. Of course, I guess it is on a buy time, and we are kind of counting down to the close of the bar here. So probably not a horrible exit. Man, what a crazy amount of volatility. All right. Pattern 4 is, again, this pattern 4 still has 6 minutes, so it could go a long way in 6 minutes to close out. ES, starting to concern me a little bit. The ES is now closed 1 bar below the bottom of my box, and it looks like it's going to close the second one unless it screams back up in the next minute and 30 seconds. This is a nothing, really. 15 minutes is short, 60 minutes says pattern 4 at 10 o'clock. All right, so as of 10 o'clock, we may get a little reversal on the ES. Lower low again, minute 10 seconds. What do we got? All right, the Russell just says that as of right here, the Russell says we now have a buying opportunity at the low. Same pattern 4 again. This is a pattern 4. It was a selling bar, pattern 4, on that same 5-minute bar. So this is a lower low than we had the first time, a little bit less risk because it is a lower low. Still looking for the market to give us a pretty strong pullback here. And this bar, the very next bar, has to get inside the green box. So see, we're going to count down 28 seconds. The 15 minute is still a P4. It has 5 minutes now to close out, and it's obviously range expansion down. The 60 minute also range expansion down, and it's going to close out. Both of those two are going to close out at 10. So the 5 minute is the early entry. 10 o'clock at the buy time. Again, I'm looking for this market should get back up, and I have to be above 2056.10 by the close of this bar. If I'm not, I'm just going to start looking for an exit. So I should be back up, and I should be above 56.10. That's the open price line from the last pattern 4. If it's not above that price when we close this bar out at 10 o'clock, then there's not a good chance that it's going to make it back to the profit target. So, and using the 1 minute to kind of narrow my focus a little bit. And again, this was part of pattern 4, so we gave it 1 extra bar to get inside that box. And if they don't start hustling this thing on up, I'm probably going to bail. Again, pattern 4s, when they work, they are usually quick moves. They don't usually take a half an hour to start working. They usually work kind of quickly. So we're still in the first minute of a 5-minute bar, 20% into the bar. I'll make a decision on what I'm going to do with this as we get into the last portion of the bar. If you're nervous about this move, typically anything below 48.1, you would be out on the trade. I'd be willing to buy it again because we have a buy signal coming at 10 o'clock, and because my 2 higher time frames are both saying 10 o'clock's the time. So I'm willing to give this one a little bit of room, mainly because my two higher time frames do have confluence of time. So for that reason, I'm willing to give this one a little bit more room than a typical pattern 4. ES, well, isn't that special? Look at this dumb ES. Let's pop this thing in for a second while that one's marinating. ES has now inverted. We knew it was going to be a pullback because we entered at a pattern 9, which is 3 higher high buying bars into a buy time. But the buy time here was not an entry signal. The buy time here was simply a trend identifier, which is the power zone. So the trend identifier, this one's over. Now we can go to here. That was our last two. That one, maybe I'll just block it. There we go. Why do you want to be hateful? Quit that. Quit. This thing being ugly with me. You're supposed to be there. All right. Wow, my mouse is kind of herky-jerky here. Hang on. All right, so as of there, the ES is technically now on the sell side. So the ES has identified, we have now moved down, and it was identifying as a buyer, and now it's identifying as a seller. So the ES has changed its identity, which simply means we're going to be favoring shorts. That means this 10-10 signal, where if we were inside of that buy zone, the 10-10 signal really didn't hold a lot of significance for us. Now it does. Now, if the market from where we are now, if this market pulls us back up into 10-10, then 10-10 is likely to give us a move back down into 950. So 10-10 is coming. We're going to see if we get a little move off of there and for the move back down into 950. That would be in the direction of the prevailing trend, and we would be looking for a short if we can pull up into 10-10. All right. I had my short earlier over on the crude. Targets attained off of that one. I'm flat. I don't really have anything to do with this buy signal in a downtrend, so I'm just kind of waiting it out. 10 o'clock is coming. I may get a scale in at 10 o'clock on the Russell here because of all these pattern fours. Got about a minute to rate. So I'm down in the position. But again, I already know that I have this one's going to close out. Daily support is also going to come back into play at 2041. So 2041, I have a daily support level. This thing is massive. I say massive, it's not massive, it's just big. We have a big pull down right off the open, and as we're coming into 10 o'clock, we're going to see if the market gives us any kind of a reversal back up. I don't think there are any econs out. I don't remember any. No econs until natural gas storage coming out here just a little while. So yeah, nothing else to really drive the market. So we'll watch and see what happens. 11 o'clock, we're going to have an FOMC dude speaking. Yeah, it's probably a nothing, but we'll see where we go from there. Pulling down into the close of the bar. 15-minute is closing out in 10 seconds. This is a pattern 4. Pattern 4 here, and an RTY pattern 4 at 10, and I'm going to buy it again. If I can get my average price down, there we go. I'm looking for a pullback up to the open price line. I'll get rid of my first one if it pulls back up to the last sell open price line. This is a pattern 4, and unfortunately, it has gone far enough, long enough that the overall zone has now inverted, which means the pattern 5, we give it 3 bars. Wait a minute, has it gone all 3? My stuff's in the way, I can't see my own stuff. We close bar number 1, bar number 2, bar number 3. So with bar number 3 closing below, it does give us an indication that the trend will end up lower than it started by 1050 now. So we'll see what ends up transpiring over there. But we are inverted. So the market has moved far enough down now that we are upside down. See if I can get a pullback. I'm looking for a pullback to get me out of this move, but the odds are pretty good right this moment that we're not going to get our primary target up here. That one's not going to happen. So I'm going to exit everything at a pullback into a plus position. So I feel pretty confident we'll get out of this thing. It's just a matter of giving it a little bit of room. We just hit our daily support level at 2041. So daily support coming back into play. Watch for the push back up here. Yeah, daily support pattern 4, punch. Let's see if daily support's going to continue to hold and enough to get me out. Because of this is doing what it's doing, I'll get out with just a couple of points if I can get it. I'll get it, but it might take a little while. So let's see if daily support's going to continue to hold. I'm looking for a pullback up into 1010. We're going to pull back into 1010. That'd be a decent little exit area time-wise. If it'll pull back into there. Let it sit there and soak for a minute until then. Well, the ES, I was looking for the ES to push us up into 1010 and then give us an opportunity to short the market. Well, lo and behold, we don't have that. So lo and behold, the market has continued to push slightly lower, and now we have entered, we have entered the pattern 4 zone. That means the ES has entered this time frame where we are within 1 bar of the sell time. Sell time coming in there, and we're within 1 bar of that sell time. Technically, I guess we're in the same thing over on the Russell. So we're now entering a new pattern 4 range. Isn't that special? So by being in the new pattern 4, both of those markets in agreement, we have hit a brand new low. That means a pullback up is probable sometime in the next 7 minutes, 6 minutes and 45 seconds. So if that's enough of a pullback to get me out of my Russell trade, and maybe we can get a pull up into a short of some kind over on the ES, or if the market puts a brand new low on the next bar and closes low, we might get a counter trend long. So we have entered the pattern 4 window of opportunity. There, here we go. Pull it up, I can see it. Mm-hmm. 10:15. Next time we're going to get anything to do on the crude, so we got a few minutes to go. All right, 10:10. Sell time. See where the market goes. At this moment, I have nothing to do with this move. So Russell, we put in a brand new low, the bar before the signal. I'm waiting till the signal's done. I think we're going to probably pull back up here, but again, I'm waiting on the signal here. Nothing to do. And the crude, nothing to do there either. 10:15 on the crude before our next opportunity. I would like to see crude pull up and give us a buying bar between now and 10:15. And if it'll pull up and give me a buying bar into 10:15, then I can sell the market right back down again. So that's what I would like to see. Let's see if the price is going to give me a little move back up. And again, then at 10:15, if I can get a buying bar, then I can sell that sucker right back down. Volatility is up to 40 points per bar. All right, and over on the ES, the projection was we would see volatility in the 10-point range today. Well, we were at 9.9 just a little while ago. So the ES hit 9.9, 9.79 points. So we have hit the volatility expectation for the day. And now we're going to see if it maintains, or we're going to see what it does here. So hang 10. ES volatile day as well. We are seeing the projected volatility already. All right. This thing will push up and get me back to a plus position by the end of the next 3 minutes. I'll probably just close out my position here over on the Russell. It is a pattern 4. It's not really an entry pattern 4 yet, but we are pulling up into a buy signal at a selling time, still in the pattern 4 window. The bar is not closed, got 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. If it'll pull up a buying bar and get me back into the green, I may get out, because that means at the close of the buying bar, it's going to probably push right back down again. So let's see if we can get some green off of this thing. Daily support still holding. ES not quite down to its daily support level of 98. So a quick look at our weekly. Yeah, see this weekly chart on the ES, this is what I was talking about earlier. It concerns me a lot. We have not done anything above that open price line, and that's a bad spot for a weekly chart. Pattern 5 is still persisting over on the daily, and the other one, yeah, push down. Watch, we'll push to the bottom of the range, and we'll go right back up to the top of the range. So this CS is, when we close inside of the first bar, it's likely to be a choppy day on that one. Bouncing. Pattern 4 on the ES as of 10 o'clock. So that's, we got the bounce up. So far, not a lot of reaction. It's a counter trend, counterintuitive move, and not a great deal of reaction off of it thus far over on the ES side of the world. 1030 is automatically a P4 at 1030. We'll have to see how this bar closes on the 15, but there's the range expansion bar, small pullback bar here, and let's see if the 1030 bar gives any deeper pullback up. It would be counter to the trend. So the ES right now, all time frames are in agreement that the trend really should be down. Just a matter of, do we get any kind of an opportunity around that? This is a pattern 4. We're in the pattern 4 window. We don't have a pattern 4 entry. So the pattern 4 entry has not happened yet. We have 34 seconds before this bar closes. There's nothing to do at the moment. Russell sucks. They came right to my profit target and touched and dropped it like somebody pulled the plug. Look at that crap. Right to the target and pulled the plug. Okay, that was kind of wild. I mean, to the penny, right to the freaking penny. Jeez Louise. Over on the ES, if we're looking for a short here, we could, but we're looking for short. 44.18 would have to be the risk from the open price line. That means we'd be looking for a push down and a retest of the low. So over on the ES, it's still in a pattern 4, which makes me nervous. I don't have a selling bar, so I'm going to sit on the side for the ES, and I'm going to let this bar close. Once the bar we're on right now has closed, then I will make a decision on what I'm going to do. So if it closes, I may sell the open price line here. We'll see what happens. If it pushes back down, I may sell a breakout below the bottom. So far, it is a pattern 4, no selling bars to get an entry. It's just a pattern, nothing. There's nothing to do at the moment. Waiting it out. Not a very pretty setup. Crude finally getting a move. We're coming, oh, come on, Crude, really? We're looking for a pull up into Crude. That's what I wanted to see. If I'm going to push up into 1015, I'm going to be able to short the market there at 1015. Otherwise, if the market closes a lower low at 1015, because the swing indicator has now identified that this is a swing low. With that being identified as a swing low, I don't know that I would have chosen that level, but that's what it gave us. Because that is a swing low, this now technically makes that a pattern 4. So I'm still looking for the same thing. I want to see a buying bar at 10.15, and then I'm going to short it. That's what I want to see. So far, I got nothing. Nothing really on the 1 minute helping me either. I got nothing here. I really want to sell the ES, but again, it's a pattern 4. So right this moment, I would just have to sell the breakout. All right, guys, so we're into the sell time over on the 60 for the crude. 11 o'clock is a sell time. Counter trend. 11 o'clock is a buy time on a counter trend move here, so not much to see there. We're in a selling zone, so still favoring the short there. 10:45, we're kind of into the signal there. Nothing really much else going on here. A lot of indecision in this market right this minute. And on the 3 minute, well, I said I wanted to see a sell time and a buying bar. We've actually pulled down into a pattern 4, which messes me up because the pattern 4 says we should see a pullback up. And I don't know. Certainly not an entry pattern 4 yet. 16 seconds to close it out. I'd like to see something right along in here. If I could get up into here for the short, maybe. Again, volatility is so off the reservation today. It's tough. If I do get a short, let's see if I can get a short here, risk just above the bar. I'm not going to risk much at all. Let's see if we can get a little scalp back down. It's either going to work or it's not. It's a pattern 4, so it's very sketchy. Being sketchy like this, it's a pattern 4 up into a pattern 2. See if we get a retest of there. I'm going to lock in some profit again. This market's sketchy here because the pattern is not super clean. So for that not being super clean, it can give me $60, and then we'll see if it keeps going. So $60 off. Not going to take anything on it. Doggone! Would you look at that? The Russell has pulled up, gotten within 1 tick of my dumb target twice, 2 times now. I hate you. Pretty sure I hate you. It's gonna fill it. So I'm just gonna hang on, let it sit there for a second. I've been upside down in it for a while. All right, picking up some move as we're going. We're getting close to the bottom of that range on the crude. Again, let's see where she's gonna go. It's a sketchy area. I don't like it when it does that. All right, target trail stops out. Weird looking spot here. Again, I don't like it when we have a pattern 4 that gives a major pullback up. So it's a weird spot. Not super happy with it. Crude's probably going to pull them back up and retest the bottom of the power zone. If it does, I might sell it again right there on a limit order. So let's do a limit order push up. ES finally closed its last bar. 3 consecutive higher high bars here. Remember, the ES is the world's worst for touching the bottom and then screaming back up again. So that's going to make this a little bit on the iffy side, but we haven't had a single selling bar at the pattern 4, which means the market movers have already started to make their pullback. So this is not a real happy spot for me to be taking a trade. A lot of indecision for me on it, but for that reason, I'm setting aside. Russell, I'm still looking for my little target here. Can you imagine that? I mean, twice they've gotten within 1 pip of me. Hit me once the first time and 1 pip short the second time. I'll take 1 less because, well, you know, we'll see. Come on. Piece of trash. Seven, 8, 9, 6. All right. If I can get 1 point on the Russell, I'll take it out at 1. I'll probably get it and it may scream on up, but I'm tired of being in this trade and it's messing with my concentration. So if I can get out here with a point, they've got a minute and a half left to close this bar out. Fine. Be that way. Pattern 4, following it up by a pattern 1 that's going to come in here shortly. It's going to be a counter trend pattern 1 at 1025, and the market just very sideways. All right. When's our next signal on crude? Next signal is not until 1030. Things that make you say, I think I'll wait. I'm going to sit on the side on crude until 1030. If we get a push up into 1030 and then 1036 or 1033 and 36, I'll look to short it again when we come into 33 and 36, and then a retest of the lows. So hang in. Let's see if we get a pull back up into there. Pattern 4, the market is making a pull up. It did not give a clean entry, so it was not a good entry pattern 4. It just didn't set the candles up that way, but it is working. So whether we're in it or not, it's still a pattern 4. ES pulled up, and I tell you what, the ES is the world's worst for coming down and tapping the low right after a pattern 4 and then screaming right back up again. So let's see what she's going to do here in a second. It is a tough market for that. Breakout trades are iffy on this one because it has a tendency to do that. Russell, I missed getting out of that dumb thing twice. It touched me and didn't feel me twice. Well, that at this rate, I'm going to leave it sitting back up here because I'm going to wait for it to come back. Aggravating rascal. Okay, 1050 is coming over on the ES. We have a native selling power zone that's going to start right there. Swing high, swing low. Looks like I'm going to have to take a little more heat on my Russell before I get out. We retested that daily support level. The 1 hour is still short, daily support. We have a 15-minute buy coming back in, pattern 4, and the market has until, what time is that? 10:30, which is only 10 minutes away. It's got till 10:30 to get running right back up here. So this is a pattern 4 with a pattern 1 right behind it. So it's a 1-4-1 scenario. And we have a 1-4-1 on the 5-minute as well. So close of the bar here at daily support. I'm going to buy the market one last time and get myself out of this position. ES testing the low. Lowest risk buy. Can't even believe I'm going to say that. It's like the lowest risk buy spot on the chart, because when the ES has a pattern 4 and right after the pattern 4 they pop the bottom, usually they'll scream it right back up again. So it's such a sketchy spot. Let me see how this bar closes out. A lot of times they'll wick through the bottom price, and if they wick through the bottom price, then they'll push it right back up because they're hateful that way. Waiting on the bar to close, 1025. Crude, I got nothing to do here for the next few minutes. Crude, we closed a bar above. Pattern 4 is ugly. Never really got a significant pullback up. I'm waiting on 1033 for something else. I got a minute and a half left to close the bar. We're buying time at daily support. New low of day over on the Russell. Looking to scale into a position here, get me a little bit better fill. Can't catch a break. All right. I'm looking for a push back up to the open of the bar. Mm-hmm. 15 minutes, going to close the bar out in 5 more minutes. See if it's going to roll back up here. It's a 4 with a small punch through at daily support and a 1 behind it. So I got a few minutes to wait it out. And then 11 o'clock is going to be the next major reversal time. 1 hour testing the bottom of its power zone, which is close to daily support there as well. And we've pulled ourselves up into now another pattern 4. Signal congestion. There's so many signals so close together here. There's the buy and a sell right behind it. 3 consecutive lower low bars into a pattern 4 does equal range expansion. And that doesn't really make me happy about my intra-trade heat, but it is what it is. Taking the heat on it, that's for sure. All right, ES, pattern 4 puncture. Again, most of the time these things will hit, they'll give that little wick, and then they'll scream right back up and piss you off. In this particular case, it looks like they're actually going to push this thing on down into the next buy time. So more like a 2 that wasn't very clean. And let's see where it's going to go. 1040 is coming, not the cleanest patterns in the world. So kind of sketchy over there, not very clean at all.
And you need a helping soon I will be trying, even God, just call. So wherever I am, I'll come running for you again. With the strength of the fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there when you call. If the sky above to turn dark.
Well, Russell's busting my chops. So pattern 4 again. See if we're going to get a pullback up into get me out of this is what this is. So far, again, came up, it touched me and then missed me by 1 to get me out of my last position. So I'm still stuck here, aggravating thing. And we're going to see if it's going to give us any more of a pullback at all. We have a native power zone coming to the south side. It's expected to begin at 1050. We're going to see where we entered that one down to here. So we're hovering between 2 daily support levels. That's the yellow dashed dot lines. And 1050 is expected to be a trend move to last the remainder of the day. So I really need to be out of this position that I'm in before 1050. 1050 is going to get kind of ugly. So see if it'll pattern 4 on this one will give me a pullback up and get me out of here. All right. 11 o'clock. Actually, 11 o'clock is already a pattern 4 on the 15 from the power zone. So we have a trend zone entering it at the extreme low. That actually helps my cause a little bit to get out of this position. And retesting the bottom of the power zone. This one's been short on the 1 hour for days. Well, for a day. So testing the bottom of that zone, support level in the market. It's going to be support and or resistance. So we're hitting that one and pull back up. Not really a huge surprise, but we'll see where they end up going. Still looking to get I'm just looking to get out at this point. I just take an exit just because I don't want to be here beyond 1050. So if we can get us a little something there, taking a ton of heat, ton of heat off that one. All right, we're pushing down into a buy time at 1033. 1033 and 1036 are within 1 bar of each other on the crude. So by default, this is automatically a pattern 4. I'm only interested if I can get a buy up into here, then I can sell it. So if the market will push up, I can sell that 1036 signal. If we put in a brand new low, we have yesterday's open coming in, or today's open from yesterday coming in at $90.90. We've been here before this morning. Well, we've been close to it. And if the market hits that level, I may get a super low risk counter trend buy, but it would have to be super low risk before I'm willing to do anything with it. ES had the pattern 4 earlier, no entry to the buy side. It did give a pullback up. It also had no continuation. It did give the punch down and not much time to go. 1040 is coming. Our new bottom is down here. Just got to keep tracking it till we get there. And this is going to come into a native sell zone at 1050. Now, the interesting thing is if we enter here at the extreme low, we'll probably see a pullback up into the power zone before it rolls over and just crashes. So again, it really depends on how we enter that zone. Right now, we're coming into a buy time, and I don't really have anything to do on the ES. I haven't had a good clean setup all day. That one just hasn't given me much to play with. Back into the fractal level over on the crude. Targets were attained earlier. We're now back down into the pattern 1, 1045. It says a buy trend on the 15 with a 1045 buy signal. 11 o'clock is going to have a buy signal on the 30, and this one's in a down zone. We had the pattern 4 earlier, and if the market breaks out, well, we're in the next buy time. So anything pushing down below 91.06, well, we'll see. But coming into a time warp buy, watching for the push up for the next hour on the 30, starting in, well, about 25 minutes. And over on the 60-minute, we had the push up this morning, pattern 5, last bar. There's the pullback. We were looking for the target on the 60 at 90.92. We got close to it earlier, and then the market bounced right back up again. Now we're into the sell time, and this one is in agreement with that pattern 5. So everything is really still pointing down dramatically on the crude, except for the 15. The 15 is our nearest signal. 10 minutes from now, it says we should see a bounce back up. Oh my God. 28 seconds ago, we may get a low risk counter trend buy. I'm a little nervous about it because I'm generally really heavily favoring shorts on crude today. We could wait and do nothing and wait until the next bar closes and then take the breakout off the other side. Or in 6 seconds, we could see if this market's going to give us a little pullback action. I'm going to see if I'm going to get a little pullback action. That's my maximum risk. I'm not going to give it much at all. So I'm certainly not going to scale in or do anything else to the short side, or to the long side rather. So willing to give it, what is that, 11 cents? If it'll give me 11 cents back up, great. Profit target for this pattern 4 would be here. This is a solid pattern 4. It is a solid doji bar at the pattern 4 after a range expansion bar. So it has everything going for it. It's just a matter of, do we get this pullback in this heavy downtrend day? So see if the market's going to give us this pullback up. It should react fairly quickly if it's going to. I have again 9 cents at risk. Goes below that, I'm probably not going to do anything else with it until this bar closes anyway. So I'd like to see this bar close above 29. Counter trend, oops, counter trend, counterintuitive, very counter to the projected trend today, that's for sure. Nervous. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna be out again. I'm not willing to give it much. I'm certainly not going to scale in. Nothing else here. This is, I think this market's going to drop. But once this bar has closed in a minute and 20 seconds, I may get a breakout trade. So if it pulls back up any, which would be nice. I mean, if it pulls back up, once it has closed up here, again, at that point, I would take it as a breakout. But I need to see this candle close. And I really need to see a buying bar. That makes me extra happy. If it gives me one buying bar, then I can take a breakout trade and feel confident about it. All right, guys, I've got 10 seconds left to close the bar. It's not really going. I'm not going to take a loss. I'm going to get $20 for my trouble. If it'll push on up, great. I don't think this thing's going to go very far. Again, anything I can get out of at this point is a bonus. I was willing to take $20 and just forget it. So if I can get 50, I'm extra happy. And there's $50. So come on, if it'll grind its way up, fine. If it pushes a new low after this point now, I'm going to sell it as a breakout. So if it'll push on up, I would love it. There's $100 of open position profit. If it gets above 38, and it's not. All right, so there's the pattern 4. The window opportunity for the long has closed. And if it breaches the low at this point, I'm selling it. Make sure I'm not sitting on a pattern 4 somewhere else. No, I got a 1045 buy. No, not a pattern 4, 1045, 11 o'clock, and a long way down for that one. So there's some buying action expected to come in on the higher time frames in about 5 to 15 minutes or so. But there's enough volatility here and enough room. Volatility is slowing down. We're down to 27, 28 points a bar. It's hard to even say we're down to 28 points a bar, but volatility is slowing down a little bit. And a punch below here, I expect we should push on down a little further. So there's a breakout trade on the crude. Breakout trades are inherently more risky just by default of what they are. And we can get a push down to here. I'll be pretty happy with that. Let's see, move down to there. But let's see what happens. Breakout trade short. If I get up $100, I'm going to lock in profit on the move down. Been favoring shorts. I've taken a couple of longs, but I've been favoring the shorts all day. The longs have not performed real well for me today. But again, it's a selling day, so we kind of know that's going to be the case. I'd be willing to scale into a short right now on crude, not scale into a long. See if we can get a move on down to 1057. Come on, go pig.
Way that I said I love you. That's going wrong. This I promise wrong. I could love you any better. I love you just the way you
All right, we have entered the Russell. The Russell down here is entering the new power zone at the extreme low. So that's a very interesting place. Entering a new power zone at an extreme low, oftentimes, not every time, but if we got a selling bar at 1050, I would scale into my position again because a selling bar at 1050 has the potential to run the market back to the other side of the power zone. So if there was a counter trend short trade that had lots of potential and not a gigantic amount of risk, that's the one. So let's see what happens here at 1050. If we get a lower low candle or an equal low candle at 1050 or a selling bar, I will buy it again in anticipation of a pullback up on a pattern 4 on a power zone. There you go. Earl got a long right there off of 91.18, scalping him a little something on the crude. Yeah, look at what it's done since it came into that 4. We got wick, 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 wick. Candles are just really sideways here. And it's dead in the water. I'm going to be fighting this 15-minute signal in a minute. So Earl got the buy where the 15 is coming in. So the 15 there, it's going to be counter to what I'm looking for. 30, still definitely down. The 60, definitely down. Earl's grabbing a little something off the buy. Good job, Earl. So we had the punch below. There's the pull. Earl, good job. Earl got him a nice punch right there. Quick $300 on the move. And she stalled like crazy. I'm going to be looking for 10. I'm going to be looking to short it again personally if I come back up in around 1057 or so. Especially if I get 3 consecutive higher high buying bars into there again. I'm willing to scale into a short. 21 is the most important number on crude. There you go. 91.21. Okay, I never really knew that. 91.20, 21s. That means 90.21, 91.21, 92.21. Is that how you look at it? Yeah, me paying attention. It's kind of tough sometimes. All right, we have a brand new power zone starting off here. I'm looking to scale into my position on the Russell, the ES. We just tested the low. We've missed testing the low by a tick. I think we're going to give a pretty solid pullback up here, guys. So again, when you see the beginning of the power zone and you enter it at an extreme level, it is not unusual to see that market go to the other side of the zone. So for that reason, you know what? I will change my setup ever so slightly. Have I applied my methodology to the UB? Michael, I'm pretty sure that I'm supposed to know what UB is. Is that bonds? Are you referring to UB? Ultra bonds. I have no idea what ultra bonds are. So I wished I could tell you, but I honestly don't know what an ultra bond is. I know what a 6B is, which is the 30-year bond, and I know what the 15-year bond is, but I don't know what an ultra bond is. So the NQ of the bond market. Okay. No, I am not familiar with that particular instrument. Which is actually kind of interesting because I have some basic familiarity with most, not all. I can't tell you all, but I have some basic familiarity with most instruments because I've been around long enough to see most of them. At least that one makes sense. Like jack-o'-lantern futures, they don't really make a lot of sense, but ultra bonds, I could see that. All right, well, that pattern 4 we saw earlier gave us a 7-pip punch through, gave the pull back up almost into its target. Earl grabbed the long off of 21. Good job, Earl. And off of 21, he saw the move back up, grabbed him a couple of $100 there. Target for the pattern 4 counter trend, counterintuitive was going to be 68. And the market, I'm expecting this thing to pull back down and keep going. So now had a pullback off the 4, a push down below there would be a nice little move. Yeah, no, I knew the 15 was fighting me, Colin. Yeah, I didn't have any question about that. The 15 was going to be a pain, but I was looking at my 30-minute. The 30-minute was in agreement, as was the 60. The 60 and the 15, not so much. But the 60 said we're almost down at the profit target for the pattern 5. And I was looking for the 60 to push it down into 90, 91. That was really where I was looking to go. Was that if we got 91, I was going to bail on that little trade. Closing out the bar, we did get a pattern 4. We have a pattern 4 that's a shared bar now over on the Russell. So the Russell has pushed us into a lower low sell. I'm still pretty far upside down in that one, looking for a pullback off of a possible pattern 4 power zone signal. So yeah, because of that power zone pullback, I'm expecting we will get a little bit bigger of a move over the course of the next little while. Let's see if we can get there earlier, sooner than later would be nice, but I'm expecting that's where we will end up going. Watching for the move on down on the crude into 1057. Back down to my average price here. I haven't had a place to scale in yet. 1057, if we had pushed up into 1057, I would have sold it again. But as it is, I'm looking for crude to push on down. 90.90. If we get down to 90.90 again, 90.90 is the profit target right there. So if we get down to 90.90, that's the profit target for the 1 hour on the pattern 5 that we've been sitting in since 9 o'clock this morning, or actually 8 o'clock. We tried to get the short off of it at 8 o'clock while we were doing our morning analysis and couldn't get the initial short, so we bounced back and forth ever since. We'll see if that one continues to flow. I got 8 minutes, 9 minutes there. Yeah. So came right back to my average price. Let's see if we punch any lower till 1057. We're going to move on down and close a selling bar at 1057. I can get out some profit.
On my back, ready to go. I'm standing here outside. I hate to wake you up. But the dawn is breaking. 31.
All right, pattern 4, shared bar. Watching for the pull up on the Russell, not forever, but just enough to potentially get me out of this move. That would be kind of nice, but I am looking for, there is the possibility that this could be the low of day and the trend reversal here. So. All right, I have the opportunity. We're pushing down into the buy time. I have the opportunity to get out of my crude position after taking a ton of heat. Still favoring the shorts. Crude's likely to continue short about all day. Up $150 in the trade. Looking for a place that I can at least go to a free spot as we've kind of run out of time. So I am into the buy signal. So I'm kind of out of time on that last short. Watch for the push down into the close of this bar. And again, I said earlier, if I hit 90.90, I was going to be out anyway. And we're getting close to that. So 90.90 is the 15 or is a 1 hour profit target for the short. So I'm going to get $100. We're down into 99 or 91. So we're within 10 cents of that $100 of that 1 hour short. Very close. We're probably going to get there. Again, I'm kind of running out of time here on the buy signal. So I grabbed $100 off. Earl did better than me. Earl grabbed the 21 price from the pattern 4, took it back up for a couple $100 there. Still looking for opportunities to get short in the market. I'd like to see a pull up here into 1106. The ES, we did put in a pattern 4. We're pulling up into 11 o'clock. Russell, pattern 4 off that new trend move. We entered the trend move at the extreme low of the zone, and it's a time of day for a new trend to start. And we were obviously trending down into there. So see if we're going to get a pull back up. Because we entered it at the P4, I did buy another position there. And as this market continues to pull up, I moved my target 1, which is a scale in target 1. I moved it to 40.4630. And earlier I missed my getting out on my targets at 49. I probably could go back to there, but I was looking at this open price line, and oftentimes the market will come back to those OPLs and they'll be resistant. So again, this is still very counter trend. So I'm looking for a reasonable exit, and I think that's going to be the one. I did move one more position at a little further away because this was a power zone signal. I have the expectation that we may pull on up into 1120, and I might get some more profit off. But once we get, once target one is attained here, I will lock in, you know, I'll lock in all the rest, and we'll see what we can do with it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Still a little on the upside downside. See if we get up above daily support resistance at 41, and I'll be looking to be out of most of my position by 46. Pretty little pattern forward down here at the bottom. Very similar scenario over on the ES. We just didn't have the time warp signal right there at it like we did over on the Russell. So Russell had a shared bar, ES did not. So they weren't quite the same, although they were close. They weren't quite the same. Come on, Crude. If Crude will give me a little push up into 1106, I can sell it again. I've sold Crude like 19,000 times a day. I've bought it 2 or 3 too, but I've sold it a lot more than I bought it. The 15-minute, we hit the bottom of the power zone again. That was not the worst exit in the world. That's going to be a support level, 91.05 or 91. Still short here, still short or still long there. So yeah, I got nothing else to do there. Just wait it out. All right, guys, over on the ES, we pulled up into a sell. I tried to grab a quick short off of it. I'm not willing to give this a whole lot of risk because I think we're going to push up even higher. But I was willing to give it a little bit of an opportunity here. I'm going to see if I can get a short with maybe 2 points of risk or so. Again, I'm not willing to risk a lot if I can even get a fill. So as soon as it hit the top, it kind of rolled back over there. Yeah. So see if I can get a fill. Again, I'm not going to chase it too much. I may give it to the close of the bar or something, but see if I can get a fill. Huh? There we go. Got a fill. I think I'm fighting the trend here, so I think the sells are going to struggle some until we pull back up a while. But I'm going to give it one shot. Not going to give it forever, though. Come on. All right, well, it looks like it's going to take me out. Again, I'm not going to give it a couple of points. It goes much above that. I'm not, again, I think we're going to struggle here with shorts for a little while on the ES. So if it goes much over 2 points above that open price line, I don't think we're going to do much. We're also into a buy time on the 15. So again, I'm only willing to give it a very low risk short area. I mean, that's, yeah, we're a long way down there. If it don't hustle on up, minute and a half, we're almost closing this bar. It ain't getting much out of me. I'd be tempted to go ahead and start taking my risk out of it because it's just not really going. Struggling. Come on, pig. Give me a couple of points and I'll be happy with it, but you ain't looking for a lot. All right, I'm locking in 1.5. I took 1.25 points off. Sit there bouncing around all over the place. Not super happy with that area. Again, we've made such a big move down already that I think we're going to pull up a little further before we make a really significant one, mainly because of this pattern 4 at the power zone. So I wasn't willing to give that ES trade very much room. It may come back and, you know, move on down forever. I don't know, but it's, I think it's going to struggle here for a little bit. I'd like to see a little higher pull up before I get too keen on my shorting action. All right, crude, we're into another pattern 4. So there was my initial target off that last short we talked about at 90.89. We're not quite back down into the 90.21 level yet, so I'm pretty good for a little while. All right, we're almost up into the pattern 4 profit target from the 1055 signal. Again, I just use that as a scale in point for myself because I was already upside down. And as we're coming into that scale in, again, I'm going to use that as my primary target, not making anything for the risk that I've taken, but we'll see if we get up into there again. There's my target, 45.70. And if I hit there, I'm going to take off all but one position and I'll lock in profit on the rest of them. Back into the green. Come on, Russell. And I'm really going to give this about 10 more minutes. Well, yeah, till 11:20. So let's see if she'll punch on up here into 11:20. Earl grabbed another little P4 down here on the crude, and he got out at 91.21. Good job, Earl. Market's pushing on back up. I'm looking for 11:15. If we get 3 consecutive buying bars into 11:15, I can sell the crude again. That'll make me happy. Monday is a trading holiday, huh? My broker just sent me a notice. That's how I know. Otherwise, I wouldn't pay any attention. One thing about it, when you work the way we do, it's really kind of hard to keep up with holidays sometimes. Half the time, I don't know when it's a holiday. I have to look in an econ schedule to figure it out. When you don't go to like a factory, or I mean, back when I worked in the factory, I was management there. I knew when every holiday was because that was your day to not go in. When you pretty much work from your home office all the time, or your other home office or whatever, it's hard to keep up with that stuff for me. All right, guys, the ES looks like it's going to close this bar below. If it closes this bar below the open price line, that's the second bar. I may sell it again at that open price line because we've done a nice wick up, and there's a potential we can pull right back to here. I'm going to sell the ES again at the exact same price as I did before. Volatility is still high. It's about 6 points. And because I've closed my first 2 bars below the open price line, I'm using that as, I guess, confirmation. Let's see if it'll roll back over. I'm still not going to give it a ton of risk. I think the last one was probably a stop run bar, so I'm still only going to give this a couple of points of risk. I made a point and something off of it the first time, so I guess the reality is I only have a point and a quarter at risk on the same trade because I've already made a little something off of it. See if we'll roll back down and maybe retest the OPL. I don't think it's going to roll down very far. But with that last wick, it gave me some encouragement that, well, maybe. All right, I decided I'm gonna bail on my Russell trade. I got a solid point off the combination of everything, so I didn't make any money on the trade. It's like $100. I didn't really make anything. I'm going to get tapped over here on the ES. I was only willing to give this one $100, so I'm kind of flush between the Russell and the ES, but I already made $50 on the ES the first time. So they'll roll back down. Let's see if this thing will come on back and give me some, give me a little bit of short love here. Doesn't look like it's going to do much. Again, I'm not willing to risk a lot because of this power zone signal. I don't hold a tremendous amount of confidence in this trade, but I was willing to give it a shot. So out on that one. And I am flat. I am flat everywhere. Now, as we push up, 92, Earl says we probably should push up here in the 21. So there's 20. So if we could get a launch on the crude, and if crude could like lose its mind for a second. Oh, that's funny. There was my target over on the Russell. What a putz. So if crude could launch for a second and hit our 92.19, that's really close to the bottom of that power zone. It would be a pattern 5. It would be a higher high buy time, and I'd sell it again. Again, ES shorts are going to struggle here for a while until we get a significant reversal. Just like on the Russell, the shorts are going to struggle. ES actually made me second guess my Russell side. Huh. What's miles away, Colin? Oh, 21. Now, Colin, you've got to have faith. It is miles away on a normal trading day. On a normal trading day, you are correct. It is miles away. On a day like today, we were at 21 less than an hour ago. So in less than an hour, we made the move down to there. And to make a move back up to there in the next, well, it might be a ways away for the next 3 to 5 minutes, but we'll see. I don't think we're going to get there either. But if we were able to hit anything above 63, I could still sell it right there. Well, if that candle was bullish up into here, if it closed high, I'd sell it in a second because that's a pattern 5. So that's the whole premise there. Is a pattern 5 is you're going to sell the very edge of the bullish candle. You're going to look for a pretty strong pullback off of it. So that's how a pattern 5 works. I'd sell the piss out of it. If it came to there in the next 3 minutes, oh, yes, sir. I wouldn't even blink. I'd sell it so fast. Especially now. Now we're on the very last bar of the opportunity. Yeah, that's right. You would. You know you would. Yeah, I was upside down in one trade for an hour. You're doing better than me. You're doing great on your micro account. Great job, man. All right, we have an official pattern 5. We are a higher high buying price, higher high price at a buying time. We have 1 minute and 18 seconds. Let's see how this bar closes out. And I'm looking to sell this puppy one more time. Might be my last trade of the day here. Let's see if we get a little short opportunity here. Got a minute to close it out. Got it. We have a osprey flying over the house right now. For those of you who are not familiar, it's a military aircraft with vertical, it's a VTOL aircraft. Good deal. At what point do they start actually paying you money, Colin? When do you start making something? All right, guys and gals. I sold the pattern 5. It's a pretty big pattern 5. The risk ratio here is really nice. I've got $80 at risk, 8 cents at risk. Actually, 2 ticks above the top, 69 into 71. That's my risk. I'm looking for a pullback down. I need to see the market below 45 by the end of this bar. So if we're not below 45 by the close of the bar, I have a pretty good fill. Let's see if we're going to get a pullback. So pattern 5, higher high price at a buying time. Looking for a rollback over. I got you. So you got to make it up to, well, you get, what is that? You take 2K a month for 3 months. Okay. So out of that 2K a month that you get to take out, how much of that do you make? I mean, you got to make what, 10K a month, 12K a month before you can take out your 2K? How does that work? Is there a percentage? I'm asking because I'm ignorant. You got to build it up. Okay. All right. Well, we were going to give this thing a bar. We have 50 seconds to close it out. I'm going to start reducing some risk here if this market doesn't go ahead and fall. Expected to pull back down. It is a pattern 5. We're obviously been down for a while. I'm generally looking for shorts, and I'm going to start reducing some risk if we don't go ahead and drop. 27 seconds to close it out. You need to hustle, or I'm going to get out. One zero, bammo. All right. I've reduced my risk down to 3. If it goes on down, fine, but it's probably not going to work because it didn't get down here in the first 2 bars. So I'm taking almost no risk on this trade at this point. If it drops, wonderful. I'll lock in some kind of profit on it, but I don't expect it to. So I'm out, minus 3 ticks on that last move. The market's going to push on up now until 1133. Oh, ES probably will go down, Colin, at 11:45. All right, there's continuation move. I chose not to take the breakout trade long here, although I could have. We're going to continue on up into 11:33. And that means I'm not going to have another trade today. Russell hitting, we've attained the profit target on the Russell from the last buy at the extreme low of the zone. So the Russell hit that low. If the Russell or the ES, either one, puts in anything below the lows at this point, this market's going to fall like a hammer. So that'd be a thing to watch. And they're both in effect. And the Russell's in effect till 1 o'clock. The ES is in effect the rest of the day, I think. Yes. So guys, keep a close eye out for the bottom of the range here. If the ES puts in anything lower than we just did here at 110.50, it's going to go down till the end of the day. So if you're going to be trading into the later morning, early afternoon, watch out for that one. Yeah, I thought I had a lot of trades today. I had twice my average number of trades today. So I got a little excited here and there. That's not a good sign. That means I paid a freaking fortune in commissions. You know how I am about commissions. I'm not all about paying people commissions. All right, we got a couple of minutes left in our day. Not a lot. I'm not going to have any other entries while we're together. We're going to be favoring the ES and the Russell, both indicating that shorts are probably still going to be the thing by the end of the zone. But again, pattern 4 at the bottom, and we've had a pullback up that's lasted now the last half an hour on both instruments. The ES, and again, if we put in any kind of a new low at this point, these markets are going to go down pretty hard. Crude's going to have its next shorting opportunity at 92.20, 92.21. That's Earl's magic number, which is a great number. Obviously, it's proven very well. So somewhere along in here, that's very, very close to the open price line for the last zone, which was 92.07. So in standard market, that's a long way apart. In today's market, that's like a blip on the radar. So they're practically on top of each other. So if we get a push up into somewhere between 92.06 and 92.21, look for a shorting opportunity here around 11.33. Yeah, that's right, Earl. Yeah, I'm the same. I didn't deal with that stuff when you guys did back then, but for the day today, we are on the 17th of February. Today, yeah, no, I agree. I just like to whine about it. Today, we have $856.50. So not a stellar day. We haven't had a stellar week. It's been kind of a back and forth thing. Profit factors almost a 2, 1.8, so still not that amazing either. So neither one of those two numbers are stellar. This number's abnormal. So that's literally, I've made twice the average number of trades today that, I made twice the number of trades that I typically do. 60% of the executions have made money today, up and down, which is kind of interesting. So 6 out of 10, we've made cash on them. And we're going to close out our day with $856.50. So $856.50. Did just about as well as some of the longs as we did the shorts. For the week, going to close out the week this week, 215 to right there. Not a great week. We're going to close out the week with $1,618. So we are a little bit below our average week this week. Profit factor is only a 1.5, 1.46. Yuck. 60% win rate across the course of the week, and we've had 45 trades all week. So it hasn't been a terrible week. And we're going to add that to our months. So I guess you're going to have a pullback once in a while. So far for the month of February, we are at $7,201. We've had a profit factor of a 1.7. We've had 120 trades here in the room, and we've had 66.67% of those have made some kind of profit. And there's the bad number. It's actually really not a bad number, but we paid $522 in commissions. So, yay. So there's that number. So adding to our month, we've still got, what do we got? Another week in this month, I think. Yeah, so we still have another week in the month to work our way through and adding that to our year. So the year, this year is not doing too badly. A little drawback action there a little while ago, back in early January, and we are adding to our year. So not too shabby. I'm not overly unhappy with that. I've had a few trades that were like, ugh, why did you do those? But in general, it's not been too bad. And our overall equity curve over the last 12 months for 13 months is there. So we are still definitely on the making money side. So thank you everybody for hanging around with me today. I'm going to leave you guys a minute early. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for everything. Thanks for being great customers. I'll look forward to seeing you back on Tuesday. We'll do it again, hopefully better than this week. So yeah, there you go. All right, everybody, have a great weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday.